I always like to add value on this channel, and one thing obviously a lot of my audience love Golf Rs, and specifically around like the Mark 7, Mark 7.5, Mark 8 Golf R. I have one myself. I talked to a lot of subscribers about it. Now I was sort of checking online and I was like, what if people are actually searching trying to get one today? I think now is the right time to kind of get a car if you want to get a really good price. It's the 15th of December. No one really wants to spend big cash. You know, we've got all these issues in the world. It's probably not a bad time to sneak in. This is actually back off meeting a subscriber in a fantastic car, arguably one of my dream cars, to be honest, which I'll probably share in drips and drabs. I'll sort of phase it into each kind of video I do, but I will do a dedicated video on that. But anyway, let's just look on here. So I'm looking for a Golf R, let's say in the UK. So you search for Volkswagen Golf R. Pretty simple, yeah, nothing untoward about that. You get 1,650 cars for sale, 165 pages. It's a lot to go through, really, really hard. How are you going to find the right car out there? Well, my advice is kind of to define it. So the first thing I would do is I would look for the year 2017. Why am I looking for the year 2017? I personally think the year 2017 and sort of just about getting into 2018 was the last of the great cars, to be honest, in my mind. Before OPF filters, all these kind of unfortunate things came in to strangle the sound of the car and cause potentially other issues down the line as well. And trust me, it makes a difference. I've driven Mark 8 Golf Rs and Mark 8 Club Sports, and they sound fantastic. But okay, let me just give you. I'll show the clip in a second. We'll get onto this. But anyway, so min year 2017 sounds fair. You also, if your car is sub 40 grand, you're in the £155 tax bracket, like my car. That gets you down to 1,000. So you knocked off about 600 cars. That's pretty good, but still not great. You're sort of looking further through, and particularly for me in a Golf R at the moment, if I was to get one, it would probably be a 3-door manual with a higher spec, so say a Krapovic exhaust. Maybe DCC, which I found is a bit of a game changer. Quite hard to find these specs because on stuff like Auto Trader you can't specifically choose options, and those options are game changers, trust me. I mean, let me play the Krapovic exhaust sound that I heard on Monday for you now. So yeah, I mean, it sounded amazing. I mean, that was spitting fuel, and that car was warm as well. It sounded, I mean, I'm still smiling after that one, and actually all the subscribers I've met recently this year have been fantastic, and it just seems to be getting better and better every time I kind of meet up with one of you guys. And I didn't know the spec when I met up with him, and yeah, I mean, amazing. But it did get me thinking about the whole 3-door manual 7.5s, because it is a little bit more in date than my Mark 7. I will be honest with you on that. So you want to get specific. So DCC, again, in the search bar doesn't really work because unfortunately, although it's dynamic chassis control, it's also dynamic cruise control. Sometimes it gets confused in the system. So someone can say DCC and you think, oh, it's got DCC. It hasn't got DCC, it's just got cruise control, which all of these Golf Rs have. Just something to be aware of. So I wouldn't search DCC. I would search for a Krapovic. Simple as that. Type it in the search bar, search for a Krapovic for all the same searches that we got. What do we get down to? 15 cars. Isn't that far more manageable? And actually the car at the top is the car that I'm going to talk about the most. But yeah, there's 15 cars here, 2018 sort of above, mostly Mark 7.5s, and obviously you've got a few Mark 8s as well in there, sort of with the Krapovic as well. But this is the car that I want to talk to you guys about, because I've been looking, and actually Auto Trader is very good when it says lower price. When it says lower price, you can generally bet your bottom dollar it's a lower price, because this is scanning the entire market. It's very, very good on that, so do trust it. This specific car has a Krapovic Performance Pack DCC. Performance Pack give you the nicer brakes, delimited speed. I'm not too sure what else came with it on the 7.5s. Maybe people can let me know in the comments. But the DCC is amazing. I mean, to change the ride comfort, particularly on 19-inch wheels, particularly if you've got a pan roof and you've got 19-inch wheels, yeah, I'll say no more. And then your Krapovic exhaust. It also looks great. This isn't a manual, so it wouldn't necessarily suit me, but it might suit you. Now, none of this is obviously sponsored. I'm just a normal guy who likes my cars. But this car kind of stuck out. Now, I'll say kind of like the negatives about it first of all. It's got 4 owners. You don't know how it's been driven throughout those 4 owners. You just don't. But there's telltale signs to make you see if the car is kind of good or if it's bad or not. Looks pretty clean from the pictures, but then they're going to get cleaned up by whoever's selling it. 26,500 miles, not unreasonable. You know, it's coming up to 4 years old. We did have a pandemic, so it's like you shouldn't have really been driving as much. Well, you might not have been driving as much, so yeah, that sounds fair to me. Sounds reasonable. Arguably better than a car with 5,000 miles because they tend to get, yeah, you're better off keeping things moving and warm, if I'm perfectly honest. Car looks clean. The first thing that I'd kind of look for on this car, and I already have kind of looked for it, is the tyres. Are they all the same make and brand? Very simple thing, shows if the car's been looked after. Are they a good premium brand? Again, shows the car's been looked after. So what's the tyres on this one? Let's see if we can get a good picture of the tyres. Have they got one close up? Yes, they have. Here you go. It's Michelin PS4 S's. Good tyre. Not a cheap budget tyre. Good tyre. So that's a good sign. Assuming it's all the way around as well, it's pretty good. This car specifically is actually quite close to me as well. If I wasn't going away to Scotland and you're watching this video and you wanted to go down and check it out, I genuinely would go and help you out and we'd see how we can get. There's the Akrapovic exhaust, so you know it's got that. This proves that it's got comfort mode and DCC and it's not just making it up. The only thing that looks slightly untoward to me, maybe you can let me know, those rear lights look a little bit more tinted than normal. That's the only thing I can kind of notice. I'm never a big fan of tyre black around the wheels, but that's just what dealers do. It also says it's got 90% tints, but it doesn't look like 90% tints to me, but it looks like the 65%, but hey, that's just me. But then it is performance pack, so potentially that came with it. But yeah, other than the rear lights, which look a little bit suspect, I'll show you another picture of it. Maybe I'm just getting that wrong. Maybe it is perfectly fine. The car looks clean, no leather, DCC. I personally like a car without leather. It's got the nice 19-inch wheels. Diamond cut, make sure they're not being curbed or chipped. Silver brake calipers, and obviously sort of like the Club Sport S style discs. Very nice car at a very nice price, and it looks very clean. 54 well taken pictures as well, I have to say, because yeah, I've seen some awful, like beyond belief, genuinely. I look at the cameras, I'll just get to a decent picture so I can leave it on that. I saw someone trying to flip a RS3 and it's up for 69,000. So clearly they've bought it and they just want to sell it straight away. The pictures are on their phone, they're wonky, and I'm just thinking, it's just people who think they can make money on this. It doesn't work out that way. It just doesn't. So there's the car, 28,980. Maybe there's room to come off that, particularly with this kind of spec and in the 3-door shape. I believe. Let's have a little look. So they've said that they've done a Haldex exchange, full Volkswagen / specialist service history, so not a full VW service history. And it mentions all kind of the options that you've got. And it's pretty good. It's got the bigger Discover nav as well, which is cool. Specifications, does it say it's got the 310? Yeah, so this is a 310 PS. So it was just in that group. Again, if you don't know this kind of stuff, you'll never know, because no dealers are going to be able to work it out. They increased the power for the Mark 7.5s to 310 PS or 306 brake horsepower. Small increase, but a noticeable one. They only could do that for basically about a year or two before they had to bring it back down to normal because of emissions. And they also had to cut out the manual as well because of emissions, because they're not emission friendly. So things to look out for there. But anyway, I wanted to share something that I hope helps you out. I'm filming this. I'm hopefully quite helpful on my videos in terms of I don't delay. I'm filming this at 10 to 9 in the morning. You'll get to see it later this evening. So if this car is available, maybe it's worth checking out. I think it could be quite a good one for you. A very good spec. I love the 3-door shape. I love the Indian grey. I'm obviously going to be a big fan. And for that price, I think it's one worth considering out of all the ones that I've seen. And I am noticing the market starting to soften a little bit. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think of the car. And I'm still kind of buzzing over earlier this week checking out a stunning 3-door manual. kind of lost for words on that. Hope you found it useful, and please comment below of any sort of tips and tricks that can help people out. And yeah, if you get this car, comment as well. It would be quite interesting. I mean, again, always do your homework and don't ever take someone's opinion as just gospel. You know, you've got to do your own checks, and there's always risk in a slightly older car. But yeah, this one looks good, and I need to get more 7.5s on the channel. Put it that way. They're pretty good. They're pretty good. But yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, have a good one.